Today is Monday, July 25th, 2022, and we are continuing our series on the lesser festivals of the Lutheran Church with the Feast of St. James. Just like Mary, James was one of the most common names in the Bible, so we have to get our Jameses straight. In the Gospels and in the book of Acts, there are three main people named James. James, the son of Zebedee, often called James the Greater, or James, the son of Alphaeus, often called James the Lesser, not because one is better than the other, but usually just because one was taller than the other. And then James, the brother of Jesus. We are talking about James, son of Zebedee, or James the Greater. Now, James was a part of a number of events within the Gospels, and some he was the main character, and sometimes he was just kind of there. I encourage you to read these moments in the life of James the Apostle. However, what I want to talk about today is actually how James died. James's death is a brief passage in Acts 12. About the time King Herod laid violent hands upon some who belonged to the church, he had James, the brother of John, killed with the sword. That's it. This passage is easily overlooked because the bulk of the chapter 12 in Acts is actually about Peter's miraculous escape from prison. It tells the story of how Peter was chained between two guards and he fell asleep, and then an angel woke him up and guided him out of prison. And so this question that is posed is, how come God helped Peter to escape but not James? After all, they're both original disciples, in fact, one of the first disciples of Jesus. They each had moments of mistakes and were forgiven. They were both preaching and caught the ire of Herod, the Jewish ruler who put Jesus to death. So why save one and not the other? Well, this particular question is uncommon, but the heart of this question is all too familiar. God, why did you do X and not do Y? I remember when Denise and I were trying to conceive our first child, we were struggling with infertility. And this meant trips to the doctor, which was 2 hours away, expensive medications, tons of hurry up and wait. Oh, and lots of doctors. And while I feel blessed that this is even an option to us, it still took a toll on us. The hardest part is when we would hear about someone else getting pregnant, especially by accident. And we would be wondering, why, God? And like the story of James, there are no easy answers here. In the end, we may never know why. But what we do know is that we have a God who loves us and is there with us when things are challenging. God was with us on every drive and every doctor's appointment. God was there with Peter and James in that prison. And when James's life was taken, God was there welcoming him home.